Live.
Ah, well, hello everyone. Let me adjust my camera here so I'm sort of like level-headed with the ladies. There we are.
Oh, that's better. Yeah.
Well, welcome to the channel. Welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology, and this, of course, is HoGaLe's, of course, again tonight. And thank you so much as well. Just again for last week, so many people joined us. So we have, of course, we've got Lady G, who is again suffering plus 90-degree heat, and you're in Oregon. You can't turn on the AC, and she's worried the police may move her on. So Lady G could actually be driving in the middle of the show. Yeah, exactly.
Dust, fairy dust.
Indeed. And of course, we have intrepid Lena, Dr. Lena Rodriguez with us tonight, of course, who will bring her usual spice and insights, and the ladies with their
look out.
Oh, indeed. And my name's Hogarth. You know, I've been reminded by many viewers that I don't introduce myself. So just in case you wonder who I am, there you are. I'm Hogarth. So as usual, we've got an action-packed show for you guys today. And what I've done is that, again, I've prepared the questions in advance. So I've got some little announcements to say. But what's happened is people have asked a lot of questions, but they've spread them around through the comments. So I'm going to have to rummage a bit rather than having them all in one place. But
okay, so you want them sent where? Get the questions, generally.
So basically, when I announce when we're doing the HoGaLe's on the community page, that's the best place to leave the questions. So then they're all in one place, because I've got questions that were asked in the last video. So I've got my phone up here where I'll have to do a rummage through at some point. But before we start the show, I'll just quickly do some quick announcements. So I want to just say a thank you to everyone. I've reached 12,000 subscribers, ladies.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, congrats.
Can't believe it. So thank you so much, everyone. That I really appreciate that. So thanks so much. Tomorrow, Sunday the 20th, I'm going to be on Kevin's channel, The Healing Medium. I don't know if you know, he's a bit, just in case you don't know him, ladies, he's an up-and-coming and medium, very good. And I did an interview. He did a live chart reading with me on my channel. Very brave. Yeah, he did that. Wednesday the 24th, this is one for the diaries, guys. You might want to check this one in. Linda G is going to be on my channel, and she's going to have her chart read live. Yeah. And we'll see. We'll have to chat off screen because she's not confirmed it yet, but maybe Lena might want her channel.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think Lady G as well. So this is something that I want to introduce, where we're kind of looking at what makes people psychic or gifted with astrology, tarot, and stuff like that, because there are real pointers in the chart, but I want to see how it varies person to person. So more to come on that. So Linda G, so Sunday tomorrow, just so that people have the time, it's going to be 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which ends up being what's that? That's like, I think it's, I can't remember what that is for me, but it's Pacific Standard. And on Wednesday, it's going to be 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is 9 p.m. my time. So the one with Kevin will be 8 p.m. my time. So there's that. And I'll make another announcement at the end of the show. We've got 500 in already. Let's rip, ladies.
Let's rip.
So here, this question's come in from Barbara Grace. And I find this fascinating. So again, Mar-a-Lago, obviously the continuation of how else could we I mean, we are going to discuss other things, but anyway. So she's asked, could the top secret documents that have been retrieved contain information about aliens? Yeah.
Really? It's not my cup of tea. I have to say, I don't do the alien buzz.
Oh, really? Oh, come on,
I mean,
Lena.
I can have a look. But
indulge us. Have a little tug and see what you can what you can find.
Let's have a look.
Now, my thing with that is is that because, you know, everyone famously says Donald Trump doesn't read. And what I do is I argue that he does, because he's read Mein Kampf and any of those secret documents on aliens. But I'll probably limit it to that. He literally has actually read Mein Kampf. Which wife was it? Was it Ivana?
I suspect he didn't even read that. He just liked the horror of it, you know.
Maybe he read the back of the book, but apparently he has read that book. Oh God, we've got donation in already. Thank you so much, Harry. Thank you so much. So in some of those papers, she also asked as well if there's naughty stuff on presidents of other countries. But let's ask about the aliens, because that piqued my interest. Were there documents, top secret documents on aliens in that hall? The FBI hall. Actually, what do you have? Do you have anything? Whoever's ready to go first.
I don't know. I can't even read these.
Really? We flummoxed you.
My brain just doesn't sort of move in that direction.
Just say what you see.
All right. What I do see, it came out first of all with the hostage card. So to me, that is suggesting more blackmail and dirt on mere mortals, right? In the alien thing. We've got the King of Swords here. So that in terms of the intellect versus being open, it's next door to judgment. So judgment could mean that we are being judged. It's my card of the collective, that we are being judged to use our intellect at this time here. It doesn't rule out aliens, because it's not that I don't believe or not believe in aliens. To think that we have this huge universe and we're the best that nature can get to, I mean, I doubt that too. So but we have to keep our intellect at the forefront and be sensible about what we see and how we evaluate it. And then I get the legacy card. So it's what's in the documents. I think there is information on money being moved around, or that he wanted to sell that information.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So now I can see that. Lady G, what do you have?
Well, in the center, I have that he's, a bit mentally ill and feeling persecuted. Okay. The foundation is just things going forward. Above it, the sword of truth. We have going into it, the tower eating away, and he's too emotional. He's more interested with his intimate partners and putting an end to that, putting an end to Biden or democracy and that. He has no interest in that. And I think they think he's a little too crazy to give him anything that would, be that far out.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Someone else talking about T. Jones is talking about selling it or used information to trade for getting out of trouble. It might seem a cliche to say, but I feel that these secret documents were Trump's trump card, as it were.
Yes.
Literally to be like these kind of bombshells. And someone said earlier, where was it? I love this comment here. So genealogy junkie said, aliens came to Earth in search of intelligent life, but were unable to find any.
And went home. Exactly. If he found aliens, he'd be wanting to profit off of it and say, this is not big enough for me. I belong ruling the universe.
Oh,
Your planet.
He would, wouldn't he? He totally would. And you know what? My cards as well really are backing up what your cards have found, ladies, here. So it's not really speaking about aliens, but it's speaking very eloquently about his attitude to these documents.
Mm.
So first card I get here, we get the World card. There we are, beginnings and endings, endings and beginnings. There we are. The lady's got her boobies out for duck l'orange, you know, and it means it's kind of over, yeah? So this thing is part of something that is completing a huge cycle for duck l'orange, which we all know. I'm thinking of actually maybe referring to, he's in such legal jeopardy now, I may start referring to him as Crispy Duck l'orange, because the heat just keeps going up on this guy. So here we are. The cards are speaking quite clearly. A big cycle is coming into an end, and he's turning into another one. Look what turns up in the obstacle position. We've got here the 10 of Cups, which is supposed to be what? The happy GOP family, as ladies you often refer to. And in a way, it's the whole edifice is just falling apart. It was flimsy to begin with,
yeah.
But now it's kind of like baked on batshit, really, isn't it? I mean, it's the stuff they are coming out with, and I want to talk maybe in a later question towards the end of the program about the IRS and all that stuff that's been going on, which the GOP have talked about, which is just ridiculous. So here we are. This is sort of like, in this position, it's almost like the fake family. Yeah, they're trying to keep.
I always see it as fake families.
Yeah, and this is also as well, quite literally, the Trump organization as well, which is under new scrutiny. Surprise, surprise, there we are, 7 of Wands, battling, battling from a vantage point. Look at all of these sticks here coming at Duck l'orange from every angle, which of course he absolutely deserves. What is about the money? Yeah, it's about the money. So I think just on the basis of readings that we've done so far, it's very clear one of Trump's biggest motives was to sell these secrets. He is just ridiculous. I was actually thinking, we've been talking about state funeral, not that we should speculate too much about people's death, but I just thought, oh, the grave could be like a Big Mac shape. Yeah. Like a giant Big Mac. And I was thinking the headpiece, because he was so stingy with Ivana Trump, I thought it would be a donate button, one that glows at night, and you just press
and he can collect it out the side.
Absolutely, in the afterlife, collect it in the afterlife. But look at the card that comes up again. I'm sure it's the same for you guys. I've noticed so many of us, when we're reading, this poverty card keeps coming up. So that's for the outcome. So it's really looking like financial kind of ruin for him. I can't really see that.
Well, the other thing is he could be buried with half a dozen Big Macs because they don't break down. They'd still be there in 200 years. The fries would still be there.
I know, it's remarkable. Did you hear that famous story of a Big Mac that was, or a burger that was left in the wall somewhere and it was still perfectly preserved? You just think like, wow. Anything else, ladies, you'd like to add on that? Any extra hits or insights in terms of these papers? Yeah. All good? Perfect. Good. All right. We'll move on to the next one. So now these two stories we don't necessarily have to go into, but I just thought they were interesting. So I've put here worth a mention. So, and as you know, I like an international element there. Oh, I've just jumbled up my cards. 1 moment. And this is a story coming out of Finland, of all places. Finland, I like to mix it up. So this is about Sanna Marin, and she's the world's youngest prime minister. And she was made prime minister when she was 34 years old in 2019. Yeah. And
sorry, where are we?
Finland.
Finland. Yeah.
So 34 years old. She was made prime minister at 34. Oh my God, my cards are completely jumbled up. And she was viewed partying recently. So because of that partying, because she says she's still on Instagram and stuff like that, they've insisted that she take a drug test.
Oh.
Which she has. So I was like, oh my God, this must be really juicy. She must be sniffing powder off tables. You know what I saw? It was just her with her hands around the waist of some generic bloke, just doing a little bit of a bop. And I was like, that is enough to score.
No.
But what I found out, though, in Finland, there are 4 opposition parties, and all 4 of them are led by women.
That's it.
The Scando countries are really leading the way in this. Yeah.
They really are, really embracing that divine feminine. And another thing I thought that was worth a mention in terms of people have been talking about Lion's Gate and stuff like that. And of course, sidereally, it happens a little bit later on August 16th. And basically, South Africa has a new Zulu king who is just crowned. So he's called Misuzulu Ka Zwelithini. Sorry if I've absolutely butchered that, but he went through a whole traditional ceremony. There's a bit of controversy because they believe he might have forged the father's will, the other royal. So I just thought I'll just drop in a bit of juicy. But the next official one is China. I think we need to talk about China now.
We do need to talk about China.
Now, do you remember when I was saying when Mars, which has now gone into sidereal Taurus, I said it will cause havoc potentially for global economies, food production, all of this stuff. China is going through a bit of a mare at the moment. Is that what you say in Australia when you're having a bit of a mare nightmare?
No, I don't know.
Oh, okay. We say
Sorry.
that when someone's having a bit of a mare. So I'll just read this off. So it's and I saw this news story. China's drought. So they're having plus 40-degree heat for weeks down in Sichuan province. Is causing huge problems for the dams because they need the water to flow through. So it's not working. So there's not enough water. There's power shortages affecting the factories in Sichuan province. And in the north of the country, apparently they're having crops damaged by heavy rains. So in the south, they're having power cuts because there's not enough water. In the north, apparently, or the more northern part of the country, heavy rains. And at some point, I'm going to have to do a Xi Jinping and China special. And apparently, youth unemployment has gone up by 20%. So I just wanted us to read, what's the future of China's economy, and is it going to collapse?
Okay, China. Let's see what's happening in China.
Is China's economy going to collapse? I mean, they've been talking about it for a while, but now it seems there are genuine concerns. There's a lot going wrong all at the same time.
Yeah.
China's economy. What's going on with China's economy?
I can go if you like.
Go for it.
Okay. At the moment, yes, the Two of Pentacles, juggling and manipulation. This is what they're doing, like a lot of countries, juggling all these issues and demands and needs. So immense juggling going on. In the past, the steady hand, I don't think this is a single person. I think this is the single party state, that provided this structure for people's lives, good, bad, or ugly. It was solid. Right? What's underneath this now is the pursuit of the almighty dollar has undercut both systems, if you like, both the nation state and the modern capitalist economy that are in tandem. But this is what's led to the problems is immense wealth, like Chinese oligarchs. We talk about Russian oligarchs. We don't talk about Chinese oligarchs. Right? This is them at the root of it all. Developing too quickly. Now, in academia, we could talk about the BRIC countries. They are large countries that they've moved from being third world up, but they're not quite on the same level as the G20. So that includes Brazil, Russia, India, China. And they did it too fast. And that was pursuing quick results, right? And the price will be paid. This is what's
Right.
happening now with the Ten of Swords simultaneously. And I went one more out. I don't think the economy is going to collapse per se. They get the Strength card, but they're wrestling with two huge, almost conflicting systems and modernized virtually in a generation. What took the the other main countries 3 or 4 generations, they did in one, but they will make it through, but there will be political consequences.
Wow. Okay, Lady G, what do you have?
Okay, well, above it, we have the entrepreneurs. And below it, the foundation that's coming to an end. He's really, he's really coming down hard on them. So in the center of it, he's got to look for some people that he can get to aid with things, because he's already just nailed the people that were the entrepreneurs. So going forward, this is usually my card for the narcissist, so he wants to try to control, but when it comes to him, things are going to kind of, so it's going to be difficult to come out of it. It's going to be flat for a while before he can get something, because he was, he's been so rude to the entrepreneurs, the ones that were making money.
Yeah, and he locked a lot of them up as well.
Yeah.
I've also just been flicking backwards and forwards through my notes, and I thought it's worth mentioning. I did a solo on Wednesday, but I talked about the eclipses, of course, and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I was just reminded here, I put a note. So this eclipse coming up on the 25th of October is a solar eclipse in the sign of Libra. Yeah. The sun is considered debilitated in the sign of Libra. So this can mean struggles for all global leaders, not just whoever's, of course, in America, but all leaders are going to be feeling a bit of a struggle. Now, so what I put here was what I put on the solar eclipse on October 25th, Mars, so not the sun, but Mars will be on Xi Jinping's sun, if I remember correctly. So the sun represents the kingdom, leadership, being a president. Xi Jinping has got planets in Gemini, even though Mars is going to be in and out of sidereal Taurus for about 7-8 months. It does go into Gemini, where it will trigger Kamala Harris's chart as well, but also Xi Jinping. Now we know that we've got this Lion Gate energy coming in, and he's basically going to be sworn in, isn't he, to be president immortalis, almost, whatever. Yeah. But this eclipse on the 25th of October also speaks about something different. So I put here, there could be economic or conflict news out of China, possibly about or possibly the economic collapse. Yeah. So like Lena said, maybe it's not going to be a complete economic collapse, but it's brewing. And I think by October, things could really be hitting ahead in China. They may not be able to contain it. So what cards do I have? So here we are. Look at this. Nine of Swords. He is worried. Yeah. China, they are really worried about the economy. I think they're trying to put a brave face on it, but I've watched probably about 5 or 6 different news sources talking about China, and this really does seem to be a lot of stuff piling up. They're very worried. What are they worried about? Their trade and business partnerships around the world. But also as well, the way I see this, it's almost like this is the, I forget the proper name, but the regime that's in rule, it's almost like this is the breaking of the social contract with the people. Yeah. It's come up in the obstacle position. So this means what? Breaking of contracts, doesn't it? The banking.
And Mars protests, yes.
Protests, fights, the eclipse. Do you see? It's all starting to bubble up. I mean, there's no guarantees, but look at my next card. It's the devil. Yeah. The devil's up. Where's my, I don't have my Oh, let me just see if I can just manage it. Oh, no. It's supposed to be this one. Oh, no, not that one.
No.
That's the wrong buttons. I've got this silly button thing and they all look the bloody same. Anyway, never mind. I should have these things prepared in advance. But look, the point is this. This is not good, isn't it? When you're talking about economics, when you're talking about, and when you put in the context, stress, broken contracts, the devil, it's worth mentioning, I think I said it before, but there were a lot of people, Chinese people, that invested their life savings in certain banks that were promoted by the state because they had high interest rates and they got robbed. Imagine all your life savings just gone. When they tried to protest, they found that their phones had automatically turned to the, you know, that COVID zero policy that they have. You need a green code, a green barcode to be able to leave your house, basically. They all turn red. They tried to stop them protesting. It's honestly outrageous. Here, the government's going to have to walk away from something here. You know, could this be, is this the civilians, the Chinese people themselves really actually starting to walk away from all this? Apparently, they're having these super hot temperatures and they're not allowed to turn on their air conditioning because, of course, there's worries over electricity. Lady G, you're in plus 30-degree heat. Do you know what I mean? And then they can't even switch on a fan because the water's running so low. And look, something rushes forward. I think this is actually going to get a bit out of hand. That's my thing. Anything else you want to add to that, ladies? As I
Well, Harry in the comments says, does this mean our industries will move back home from China? Well, the answer to that, Harry, I'd have to say is a screaming no, because thanks to Thatcher and Reagan, all the blue collar industries were dismantled. They weren't just locked up and functioning. They were dismantled. And at the same time, as workers lost their rights, we all got seduced by the idea of cheap products from Asia. And people got used to the idea, instead of buying a couple of nice shirts and keeping them and washing them and ironing them, no, we got used to the $5 T-shirts. People won't want to pay $35 for a basic T-shirt that it would cost made by a Western factory. So the answer is no, because thanks to neoliberalism.
Yeah, which seems to be collapsing in front of our eyes, doesn't it? You know,
absolutely.
Pluto going through the sign of Capricorn, which deals with big government infrastructure projects, infrastructure itself. Pluto is that underbelly. It's like the devil card, pretty much. You could say Pluto is the devil card, and it's all coming out, isn't it? Now, in terms of talking about the devil card, we just need to go there on what the baked on batshit GOP party has been talking about. And I don't know if you guys have heard the latest, but this is so utterly outrageous. It's beyond satire. So for those that don't know, do you know what I mean? For those that don't know, various leading members of the GOP and of course the far right media, which are just jellyfish, they have said publicly on many occasions that the IRS is going to send 87,000 armed IRS agents with what is it, semi-automatic rifles, and they said they're coming for you, your mum and pop business, and they are going to kill you on your doorstep. I mean,
now this is the same rhetoric as they used with universal health care. They'll just take your grandmother out and shoot her, the death squads, remember? This is the same mentality.
Yeah, it's extraordinary. And guys, if you've got some questions for us as well, put them in the chat, and we'll just respond to what I stated there. So really my whole thing is, if we can just read, where is this energy going? Because their appreciation of absurdity has completely left them. So I just thought, let's just read where this crazy
energy is going. I need another deck for this.
Yeah, me too, actually. I'm going to go to my Bianco Nero, my black and white deck, because these people, it's hard to know what to say, isn't it, Lady G? It's hard to know. What are your thoughts just before you pull? What are your thoughts on hearing this?
Oh, I think they've just gone so crazy now they can't back out of it, you know. So they're just going to double down, triple down with their craziness. It's all about fear and control, and that's
Yes,
what they've got. Fear and control, and that's it.
Yeah.
They don't have anything positive.
Yeah. Yeah, literally nothing. Literally nothing. Dina Donatelli, before we pull, is just saying Russia gave him info not just on the Democrats but the Republicans as well. I think that's how he controls them. Yeah, I mean, Duck L'Orange is certainly a mistress of blackmail, and I say mistress deliberately because he's well, I mean, he's probably been blackmailed several times, so he's picked up a few tricks over the years, hasn't he? So what's the energy of the GOP going forward? I just don't know where they go after this. What's the energy? What's the energy? What's the energy here of the GOP? What's the energy going forward?
Oh, Lordy.
Have you picked some Hooters yet? What's the energy of the GOP going forward? It's just beyond. Even by standards, there's no standard. I mean, look, even by
there's no standards.
It really, really is out there, and it's amazing that people are just entertaining this. People with seasoned careers. It's just, wow. Anyway. Who's ready to go? Sorry, as I adjust my camera. Forgive me.
I'm ready.
Yeah, go, Lady G.
Lady G.
Okay, well, in the center of it, they've got mental health problems and persecution complex, all of that. The poor white, all their drama long term. That's what they're into. Above it, thinking they're going to, put this nonsense out there and have some victories. That's really crazy. The foundation is the slippery, and it's about money and, trying to drag in the people that are angry, that type of person. Going into it, they want to do the government by the hard thing. It's like they want to become the Christian Taliban, basically.
Yeah.
And but going forward, they want to charge forward with a big club. But this is hurting the health, and also this is the card of karma. It's going to come back to bite them in the rear.
Yeah, it really is. Someone's written here, Mercury Angel, when you have some of his rabid supporters backing away, the writing is on the wall. Because what they are proposing is so utterly preposterous. It's, do you know what I mean? It's beyond desperation. The fact that seasoned politicians have gone on TV and said the IRS are going to have an 87,000 armed militia come and shoot you down dead on your doorstep, yeah, without even thinking, well, that would obviously bankrupt the country, because if they won't be paying tax. Because they'll be dead.
For the small businesses, they have nothing, because they don't want them to look at the 1% that this would actually hurt. So they're coming after you.
And it's ridiculous.
Well, I had to move to the circus cards because that's what this party has become.
Yeah.
And here it's got the Republican elephant here. This is the Nine of Cups. This is them business as usual here. This is how they like to conduct things. Now, this is the sleazy guy with the kids. So this is about nostalgia, taking people back to a time that they somehow think was good. It's selling the circus to the people. Step up, buy your popcorn, listen to us. But this position is a burden for the Republican elephant here. Here is the Ten of Wands. So they're burdened by this. They have small wins and big losses. Yes, Earth Mama, they are Christo-fascists. That's exactly what they are.
Yeah, that's what they are. Christoban, that was my nickname for them. Crazy. Oh, anything else, Lena? Is that?
No, that's me. It's yeah, sadly, some people are going to believe it.
Yeah, it's astonishing. It's astonishing, isn't it? So what do I get? So I've gone to my black and white deck. Quite interesting cards here. Here we are, Knight of Cups. Now, we understand this could mean the message and coming forward with something like that. But this can also be a card of seduction. Yeah? They've been seduced. They literally, they're out there and they're going out seducing. This is the guy that turns up and says, hey, honey, we're going to go off, we're going to get married and all this kind of stuff. And before you know it, there's a bun in the oven and he's left and you're just like, oh my God, I'm with child. And obviously under new rules, you wouldn't even be able to do anything about it. Anyway, so there you are. I'm interpreting this as the insincere offer.
Yes.
When we look here in the obstacle position, we got the King of Swords. So it's what is they're essentially trying to use legalities, as we've seen with the High Court and stuff, against people. Yeah, we've got lies, insincere offers, but they're trying to legitimize that by using the law, high courts and all this kind of stuff, loopholes, whatever they can. They're talking about coming after the mom and pop, but they're not talking about, like you said, the 1%ers who benefit the most from this. It's just so ridiculous. They're trying to implicate the government. Here we are, the Hierophant card. Oh, it's the government. They're against you. They're going to send out all this militia to come to your door and shoot you dead with AK, with semi-automatic weapons. They're so disgusting. On one hand, you've got children regularly being massacred in schools. They don't have a poop to say about it. Yeah. But then they're happy to say that the IRS, the tax man, is going to come and shoot the mom and pop down on the doorstep. It's just outrageous. It's absolutely outrageous. Here we are, King of Cups. And really, this is talking about the emotion. This is what they do. They play.
They
play on the emotion. They just manipulate people. all in a froth. Yeah. But then look, we have the Judgment card that comes out as the outcome card. So I think ultimately they will be held responsible. And I did a couple of clarifiers as well. We've got here Justice, Lady Justice here, Queen of Swords, and the Hanged Man. So, they're going to be having, a change of perspective. But I don't know about you ladies, but for me, the GOP, or this new form, this MAGA crazed GOP, is kind of like a poop in the toilet that won't flush.
Yeah. It hangs around. Also, you've got, as someone in the comments pointed out, this whole thing of teachers are now replaceable. You don't need teachers training. Thousands of teachers have walked out in Texas, in Florida and other places because they can't teach history, they can't teach science, they can't teach. You've got these mad frothing parent groups who are burning books, right?
Wow.
But DeSantis now wants to replace teachers training and just have armed service members or their wives. I love that concept. Who can teach? You don't need to be trained as a teacher. Now, this is the end of modern America. You haven't caught up with this drama. This has been picked up on in other red states. They're getting rid of teachers and putting in untrained people.
And we thought DeVos was bad.
Yeah. It's beyond comprehension. This is third world stuff in the worst way.
Oh, my.
They've defunded public education. They've eroded public education because it's too woke. Then they had all the church schools, and now they're actually siphoning teachers.
Oh my God, we have to read on that. Let's just read on that. I mean, look, none of us in a way should be shocked by this point, but there is still, that is still shocking. How is this? Why is he not just pulled down from the post? Like I said, you know, Trump is the face hugger that's come on and infected, you know, laid an egg in the GOP, and DeSantis is what has ripped itself out of the cavity and is now running around. The egg layer, Rupert Murdoch, is obviously making him the next darling, and everyone is like, let's worship the new disciple.
Yeah, and he's so dangerous.
He's so dangerous. Oh my God. Let's pull on that. Let's just see what is around that. Thank you.
What are we actually asking about teachers?
So with this, I think we should ask in terms of, is this actually going to become a thing? You know, where he's, what did he say?
I think it's already in motion.
Oh my God.
It actually is the end, and an ignorant population is a malleable population. It's deliberate.
Oh my God. All right. Well, so let's ask them what are the potential outcomes of passing this decision? Let's ask that. What are the oh my goodness.
The Diary of Anne Frank has been banned.
No.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say. I mean, this is just I don't even know what to say. And we've got over 1,200 now, by the way. So thank you guys for joining.
Hi, everybody.
I've literally been catching flies for the last 3 minutes hearing this. This is astonishing.
And the dumbing down of America is being accelerated in this way. It's just crippling and mind-bending.
I just can't believe they're being able to get away with this.
Mm.
Okay, what's the
see, that's... Can I kick off? Because I think this is what this card's about. This is a sort of, in this context, this Three of Pentacles. It can be a perfectly nice card in other contexts, but not in this context. Mm. And this is bringing three forces together, which is government, church, and the people, I think, but in the worst possible way. Mm. It's really a worrying development. You have the Knight of Wands here, but I think this is talking about the momentum of this movement. DeVos did such damage anyway, you know, sucking money out of public education. But this is them. I think there will be a point of resistance that will be led by young people themselves. Young people tend to be indifferent to books until they're banned, and then they go and seek them out, you know. So it's a bit like, it could be young people saying, you're not going to sabotage our education in this way. Mm-hmm. You know, young people standing up, and Biden will support them. This is my King of Cups card. So I think it'll get worse short term, but should the Dems get through with everything in the midterms, this will be the first thing they should address, really, because it's so dangerous. But I think Biden's concerned.
Yeah. My goodness, astonishing. Lady G, what do you have?
Okay, well, above it in the sky, we have the narcissist, you know. So DeSantis is just as bad as 45 is, and, you know, trying to ruin the health of the nation. You know, and this is, again, also the card of karma that's going to come back. He's got all these contracts with this delusional stuff that he's trying to put out there, pie in the sky things. The key is something new coming on the horizon. And we have, yes, those with the dark mind looking at this, not happy with what they're seeing, the younger generation that's going to stand up and speak out against it. And they're looking for the opportunity to change the direction, to pick a new path. So they're going to stand up against this. I saw that. I saw today too. It was young people that, I mean, they were like maybe 12 or something, saying the younger generation being taught this stuff is just, you know, they could see the fallacy, how bad it was, and they were already talking about it. That young.
Yeah,
it makes more sense than the adults do.
It's just astonishing because, you know, obviously, you know, I've not been paying that much attention to, well, sort of attention, a bit of attention to DeSantis, but like I said, I just find him so cold. He's just, whenever I tune in with his energy, it's just stone cold. We know what Duck Larange is. He's a, you know, like Lena said, he's an orange yeti, all over the place, blah blah blah, verbal diarrhea, can't control himself for 10 minutes, and you know what have you. But it in a way, with what I find frightening about DeSantis is that he is an unknown quantity, and he's actually vaguely competent. He's so cynical, and he's just passing these things which will like permanently erode. Do you know what I mean? It's so dark.
There was somebody on the chat that just said they live in Florida and their library is closing down. They're closing down the library.
It's just astonishing. It's just astonishing. All right, so this is what I've got here. Look, we have the 10 of Cups that emerges again, which we're talking about what? The fake GOP family. Surprise, surprise, you know, talking here about DeSantis and all of this kind of stuff. But also as well, this is also showing how this is literally going to affect American families, potentially for generations, if this horrible erosion is allowed to continue.
Absolutely.
Absolutely astonishing. When we look here, it's almost like the GOP has basically turned its back on education, families, anything positive that this card is supposed to represent. Here's the GOP just being like, nah, we're walking away from that. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. Just as we've hit 1300. Thank you guys for joining us. What we have next, look, we've got the Justice card here. The Justice card. So in a way, for me, this is almost kind of a bit of a complex position where this has turned out, because we have to look at the cards that have gone before. So here we're basically seeing the American values being undermined, as the GOP walks away from it. And it's almost like a perversion of justice. This is how I'm going to interpret it.
Yes.
It's like a perversion of justice. It's astonishing. Now, with my cards recently, I turned them all round the right way, because, you know, people send you little emails and they'll be like, I really like your readings, but too many of your cards are reversed. So I'm like, I'm fine, you know, I'll tidy up my cards. But look what happened anyway. You see, because spirit will speak. Yeah. So here we've got the Two of Cups, which again is about what? Contracts, partnerships and stuff. But of course, when it's reversed, it's what? The breaking of a contract. They're literally breaking that contract. And again, that really does imply that this is a perversion of justice. I mean, what else could it be? And then look at the outcome card. The Emperor. So we all know who this is. DeSantis wants to be the new emperor. It's as simple as that. And if he gets in, this can also as well mention, this can also be Mr. Murdoch, the egg layer, who is also the kingmaker. This to me shows Murdoch's new affections for DeSantis, wanting him to turn him into this character. And of course, if he succeeds, that's what he'll be, because everyone is going to effectively be serfs, because that's what they want. They want serfdom. They look almost at imperial Russia with with envy.
Envy.
Yeah, back in the day where, you know, you were the lord, the milord of the manor owned you and your wife and everyone. This is what they want. They want serfdom. They want people to be completely disempowered, and it's just astonishing, isn't it, ladies? I
And
mean,
so many people going along with that. Please
Ah.
let me be a peasant in your world. You know, like, what is that? Don't educate me. Don't give me health care. Just let me lick your boots, please.
yeah,
That's what they're voting for.
it's astonishing. It shows. For me, like I said, like, you know, Trump has got lots and lots and lots wrong with him, but when it comes to conning people, yeah, this is something extraordinary, and you see it in his chart because his moon, his dreadful moon, is conjunct the 13th sign Ophiuchus, yeah, which is the serpent priest. Yeah, it can be very spiritual or it could be corrupted, and that's why I also call DeSantis sort of like flat tire Trump in a way, but he's an inferior copy, and he's being pumped up, but he's more empty than like DeSantis really doesn't give a damn. He just wants power for its own sake, and I mean, we'll have to hope some huge scandal comes out about him, and we'll have to see what happens. But he's like a clean slate version of Donald Trump, and they are just lapping it up.
Yeah.
They are just lapping up. It is sometimes I don't know what to say. Right, let's have one more question. If anyone's got a question in, or ladies, if there's a question you want to ask as I rummage through the comments, let me just see if there's something I missed. Oh, that's it. I've just remembered. Sharon Donnelly asked, is it the case that Russia has known information about the weapons capability of America for a long time, and was that a contributing factor for them going into Ukraine? We'll finish there.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll finish there. That's a nice simple one, isn't it? Oh, I'm still flabbergasted.
Yeah.
Matt DeSantis, my God. Because in a way, like we were saying before, you know, they say Trump doesn't read. He obviously does read a bit, but because he doesn't care enough about literature and the arts and all that kind of stuff to even want to get rid of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
Whereas DeSantis is like, I'm gonna
that's
destroy
right.
that.
It's really, really sinister.
Very sinister. Very sinister. All right. So
and the problem is the right wing has been at it for 3 or 4 or 5 years to put people on school boards. That's why local's so important. And I say to everyone watching this, you know, think global, act local. It's really important to counteract these forces at a local level.
Yeah, it's astonishing.
Now,
so
Russia.
Was Putin acting on intelligence provided by Duck L'Orange, crispy Duck L'Orange? And was that a contributing factor in him invading Ukraine? By the way, the eclipse for him could be potentially very difficult, by the way. He's a Libra rising, and it's going to fall right on his ascendant. So I feel come either a week before or week after, normally can be the case, there might be some kind of declamatory, because that's how the planets work, they're declamatory. There's going to be some kind of big news or event that could somehow shift the war in Ukraine. It's either going to escalate and go nuclear, or it could be China could be in such a pickle that they may not be in a position to support Putin anymore. Could be that. But there could be news about him anyway. Did he know in advance US state secrets as a way of going about his war in Ukraine? I'm almost saying yes here.
I can go if you like.
Go for it, Lena.
All right. I would say absolutely yes. You know, this is the nefarious dealings in the back room, but also front of house. Trump was never very veiled about these things. And then you had other people, including, you'd have to think, Jared Kushner and others, actually making it happen. Right. Putin thought he'd died and gone to heaven and other stuff when this happened, because he knew he was dealing with a cretin. He knew he had him in the palm of his hands. He knew he could make Trump jump through hoops. So this was an absolute gift to Putin. And Putin pretended to be his friend, but he never thought much of the Yeti. We know that. So then they set about making plans about this. Now, we've got the King of Swords here. I think the problem came for Putin. This is, to me, Putin. He thought he'd done his magic with Duc l'Orange. The problem was NATO. So Trump did what he was asked to do, which was undermine NATO. And then Putin underestimated NATO pulling together like they did with the Ukrainian thing. So that was the rock he perished on, I think. And we've got the tower here. So it was all very good during Trump's reign, right? And I think, to answer the question, yes, it did. He thought he'd go in and NATO would be on its knees, and that would be that.
Wow. Lady G, what do you have for us?
Well, in the center, he thought the obstacles were eaten away. That,
By the mice.
Yes, eating away the obstacles. But we have the Wheel of Fortune. It didn't really work out the way he thought. We have the other things were still hidden, even though they tried to do things under the dark of night. And going forward, he wound up with, nightmares, and just, it wasn't the way he thought it was going to be. Looking for his shipper to come in, but it's not moving fast. It's anchored out there. So, his ships aren't moving too quickly.
Wow. But isn't it interesting, because the cards are kind of revealing, because remember, everyone was like, this is madness, he's gone into this, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But when you follow the logic, because Lena, you got the King of Swords, and of course, Swords deals with air signs. It can actually deal with Libra, the sign of Libra, which is the sign of the law, and he's a Libra rising. Yeah. So he'd planned this meticulously out.
Yeah. It thought it'd be over in 3 days.
Yeah. And I think it's because he had those assurances from Duc l'Orange. I think it's because of that. And I'll quickly read my cards here. Christopher Guala, thank you so much for your contribution. Thank you. So here's Putin riding in on the victory. Look, literally, he's like, yeah, this is going to be done in 3 days. The guy that I've got, who is my agent, they've been calling him one of us, or our guy on Russian state TV when they're talking about five. It's astonishing. I mean, anyway, but as we know, we're almost wrung out of outrage here. The udder of outrage is almost dry, because it's just going to completely preposterous levels. But anyway, this is what Putin thought. I'm going to ride in there. It's all going to fall down and whoop it up. And I'll be, drinking champagne and having, peach blinis and, and all this kind of stuff. But what happened? Oops.
Yeah.
Oops. Suddenly he realized, wow, Ukraine is a country, sovereign nation, and they are fighting with incredible bravery, which has literally stabbed Putinshka in the heart. I mean, look at the hoods. I mean, it's so bad, he's having to hide his own troops in a nuclear power station so they don't stop. I mean, come on.
Look.
Do you know what I mean? Here he is, juggling like a you-know-what. He's had to change his plans so many times. And of course, it doesn't help him as well that Erdogan, who seems to be turning out, well, we know he's not a great guy, but in this case, trying to be the honest broker, you know, doing the you know, the grain deals and everything like that. I mean, he signed the grain deal and then basically tried to shoot up the grain stores. But anyway, this is Putin here juggling like a goodness knows what. More news is to come. Yeah, here as well. There's just stuff coming out. This is also a card of youth. A lot of these soldiers are young. It's also as well the pages when they turn up. They don't only mean news, but it also means, when you think of it, youth is not necessarily associated with patience and stamina. Yeah. He's going to reach a point where this very young army of his is literally just going to start collapsing again.
Yes.
He really is close, isn't he? And then when we see the outcome card, look at that. It's the Tower. Yeah, it is the Tower. So I think he can only hold on for so long because, look, he's got two options. Either he declares some kind of, either he escalates things and takes things totally crazy and goes nuclear, which basically just destroys everyone and everything. And also as well, remember the winds blow from Ukraine to Russia, by the way. So all of that toxic cloud could land on Moscow, you know. This could also be a huge miscalculation.
Yes.
A huge miscalculation. But it could also be as well that it just reaches a point where the Russian army just collapses because, of course, the Ukraine have got all these sexy new weapons now. They're doing all of these extra things in Crimea and all of this kind of stuff. And when I just look at it, that eclipse, which will fall in his first house, and it could be either or. Either he gets some kind of, does something extreme, which turns it in his favor, or circumstances overwhelm him and things out of his control just take things out of his hands. Let's hope it's that outcome. Anything to add to that, ladies, before we close the show? Can you believe it? The hour has zipped by.
No, I can't. After this, I'm going on the channel of Dianne, Shield Maiden. She was one of my tarot students, and she's now doing very well on YouTube. So you'll be able to check that out later. I'm not sure if it's live or when she's putting it up, but it's Dianne, Deann, Shield Maiden. So check that out.
Brilliant. And Lady G, anything to add before I make the end of show announcement for next week?
No, I'm going to continue to try to be here, you know, fulfill my obligation.
Yes.
You're not obligated.
You'll be parked further up the road.
I had to put 4 new tires on yesterday. I was driving and the whole thing was like this. The steel belt was coming loose inside the tires.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
My goodness. So, but you know, there you are, always trusting, you know, doing your thing, traveling around. And what I want to say to close the show is that, so Lena's not going to be here next week, but do not fear. We have someone in, and that is going to be Andrea from Lilac Lantern. Yeah. So Andrea from Lilac Lantern, of course, you know. Yeah, Lena, of course, will be back, but Andrea's going to step in. Oh, you're off to Sydney. So yeah, so we'll see if there's a little bit of a side chat or whatever from Lena, if she's free to kind of maybe fling something in the comments. But there we are, another show completes. Thank you everyone for joining us this evening. Over 1,300 of you, which is still excellent.
And I think we should finish with a quote from Pegasus in the comments, which is "Row, row, row your vote." I love that.
You know.
Perfect. That is excellent. So thank you everyone for your questions. Thank you for all in the comments. Of course, we try our best to get through, but really the comments is a whole life of its own with the show. Fascinating stuff. We will see you next week, of course, and don't forget I will be on Kevin's channel tomorrow, the healing oh god, I always keep forgetting his bloody the healing medium. So I'll be on that tomorrow, 12 p.m. PST, and then Linda G on Wednesday, and then at some point Lena and others coming on as well. So we will leave it there. Thank you so much, everyone, and we will see you next week.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.